So today, every day this drives me crazier and crazier, this assassination attempt, and just the half-assedness of solving it, and also anyone taking responsibility or being blown out, because this just gets worse and worse. The first thing I saw this morning was they showed a picture of a cow, and this was a real picture, on top of a roof, just like the roof the assassin was on, just to show that there's a fucking cow on the roof. How can they say it's not safe? Well, there's a cow up there.
You don't even need to go that far, because the Secret Service assassins were on a slanted roof when they shot, what's his name, Thomas?
Yeah, they were on the same roof, weren't they?
Yeah. They were on a different roof. They were on a roof that was more slanted than the one that the attempted assassin was on.
It looked dangerous up there, guys.
I cannot believe that Kim Cheadle actually said that even if it was true, I would never tell anyone that, yeah, we thought it was unsafe. So, and then
I just watched it again because Charlie did a show, Charlie LaDuff did a show where he talked to a former Secret Service agent about a lot of the stuff. And so I rewatched the clip of her ABC interview. That wasn't even a question she was asked. The question was...
Oh, she just spit it out.
Yeah, which is
it was too unsafe. We didn't want to put anyone up there. Now, they've further said that they thought it would be better to have the site inside the building. And this FBI agent was talking about, it was like, that's insane. How could anyone think it was too unsafe? The fucking assassin was up there.
Shouldn't she be let go on that comment alone, let alone anything else?
I thought she should have been let go anyway because she failed. I mean, zero.
They have one job and one job only. It's not to let somebody they're protecting get shot at.
Oh, also currency.
Yes.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are pointing out, especially today, this guy was pretty good, I thought. Former FBI Assistant Director Chris Swecker is just like, his mind is blown by the sloped roof excuse. That's the thing he wouldn't stop talking about. He said it's a bizarre excuse. If you're too scared to be on a roof, then you at least keep eyes on it. And then he said the shooter wasn't scared to go up there. How can Secret Service people be scared to go up there? He also said it didn't look that dangerous to him. He said that's the worst excuse. How could they even say that? And then what I say to this is also that how could Pierre Thomas not stop and go, wait a second, are you telling me that was too dangerous for a Secret Service agent? How could that just go by and you didn't even follow up?
And wouldn't they go out there like a month earlier and go up there anyways to try to see how dangerous it is? We can't.
I think they're making it up. I don't believe it. I do not believe it.
I think she made it up on the spot. And they do go out a few days earlier, and this is their big failure. The advanced team looks at it and says, okay, this is the soft perimeter. That's the hard perimeter. We're in charge of that. The county police are in charge of that outside perimeter. Which, why? Why? If you can have a shot that's, 400 feet away, why would that not be part of the Secret Service's detail?
Well, ultimately, Secret Service is ultimately responsible for all of it.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
they made that decision. So stop trying to throw the local county police under the bus, which, by the way, I don't know.
A couple of those cops are talking now, too, and they're absolutely beside themselves that they're getting blamed.
Although, did you see what the sheriff said? He's like, all my officers did exactly what they were supposed to do after the shooting. He had it after the shooting. It's like,
you know what? That's not even true, because what a lot of these guys, like the FBI guy, Chris Swecker, are pointing out that they had so much time. Sure. They had all the time in the world. He said, if nothing else, there's no excuse for not pulling Trump off the stage.
Well, now
Why wouldn't they do that?
Now we know that they had even more time than we thought they did. Have you seen those videos?
Yes, I have. It started today with a photo 41 minutes before the shooting. It was taken by taken of Thomas Crooks by a police officer who said he was crawling on the ground, and he submitted it to, I guess, Mission Control or whatever.
Just circulated through.
He then lost Crooks. And then 15 minutes later, the same officer found him again, took a picture of him, sent it in to whatever Central Command was. He was on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
He called this into the command center.
They should have pulled him off the stage then.
Why didn't they have drones overhead?
We've talked about that.
Apparently, there was no budget for it. There was no drones. There were two other things there were not that were kind of surprising. But
that's ridiculous.
He was spotted.
I think that's an excuse too. They probably just didn't think of it.
How could they not think of drones?
It's common sense.
On their original reporting, they said they had eyes on him with a drone, and now they're saying they didn't seek to use drones, and that the FAA had to grant special permission, but why wouldn't they?
Well, I can't remember who I heard talking about this, but it was it wasn't Chris Swecker from the FBI. It was another guy who was saying the drones that they use for these, he said, they're great and they don't cost that much. He said, I
No,
can't believe that was a
not at
budget
all.
issue.
And you can see everything, and it's very clear.
Yeah.
So-
Haven't they ever watched every single movie where an assassination takes place? The guy's on a roof somewhere.
Yeah.
Not only that, he went through some kind of screening. Did you know that? And they saw that he had a rangefinder
Yeah.
on him, and they're like, no, you're totally cool. It's a rangefinder.
No, I mean,
So
honestly,
how did he get the gun then? How did he get the gun in?
I feel like
Waistband.
for anyone who is remotely susceptible to conspiracy theory, how could you not be thinking that they let this happen? I'm not saying I believe
No,
that.
I
I believe
know.
this is total incompetence, which is why I can't believe this isn't being discussed more.
Do you want another example of why I think she should go? Do you know they never notified Trump about the Iranian plot to assassinate him?
What?
And he apparently behind the scenes is livid that, how can there be this plot by another nation against a former president, a current candidate for president, and you don't tell me or notify my team? They just notified the Secret Service.
I don't know what. I don't even know how to respond to this anymore. I'm like, first of all, I can't believe it's not a bigger story. I can't believe there aren't more people screaming about this. I'm starting to think
There are.
maybe I'm nuts. Maybe
Oh, there
I'm
are.
overly worked up about it, and I'm wrong.
No, but there are. But then when she's on, in the middle of an interview, you'd expect the interviewer to push back on
Fuck
this.
yeah.
Well, it's really going to amp up on Monday because I believe Monday is when she goes in front of Congress and they're going to grill the shit out of her. So, I mean, I think a lot of times.
Why would it take a week? This seems like it would be more important.
Well, I mean, the RNC is going on right now.
All the more reason to
So-
get someone else.
Well, no, but you want all of Congress there, right? If you're going to have a hearing,
I guess. I mean, there's another
or
thing
not all
too.
of Congress, but everybody in that committee.
I was reading about the bystanders, the people who 7 minutes before there was like literally 30 people that were yelling, the roof, the roof, the roof,
off
7 minutes
the
before.
boat.
Now, the video that we see,
Too late.
they're yelling
the boat.
with like 2 minutes before that, but they were yelling 5 minutes before that, and the group of people yelling got larger and larger as more people started to hear people yelling and would join them. So they said they're hoping to interview these people later this week. I'm like, this is just not important. It just feels completely unimportant to me, and I'm stunned.
I'd also like to know, what did he get off? 7 to 9 shots, they said? Is that right?
I think it's at least 7.
Where'd all those bullets go? We know 3 people were hit. But even the bullet that hit Trump's ear, where did it go? Where did it end up?
I don't know. There's just a real dearth of data on this, and it's all over Twitter. I mean, the best things I've seen, all the good video I've seen is on Twitter.
That's because we
Where's
demand
the,
answers right away.
Where's the medical report about what they did with his ear and all of that as well?
I haven't heard boo about that.
Somebody was asking the question, if it was teleprompter glass. Did you hear that? Like
Or
that
shrapnel.
that hit
the
his ear?
bullet that the
Shrapnel.
bullet possibly hit
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
teleprompter and the shrapnel hit his ear.
Yeah. That's been discussed.
But
it's so
it's
far
been
down
discussed.
on the list.
But a lot of people were wondering why there's been no medical report, no official medical report.
Well, what does that
I
change?
could not. I mean, I feel like there's such a dearth of information here. There's so much information, yet no one is collating it or saying, "Wow, we fucked up Royale." And the only explanation I've heard for that was the one of the other former FBI guys, and there's not a lot of these guys talking. And Dan Bongino both said that Joe Biden doesn't fire people. He just doesn't fire people, and that she's super tight with Jill Biden and with the other guy, her assistant, who apparently is untouchable. And that's the only thing I can make any sense out of any of this, because I can't imagine why people aren't demanding she be fired.
I do hate immediate reactions a lot of times because there's so much to be gathered. I mean, to take a week to look at it.
When she said
No,
the roof
she's
was too
fucking
dangerous,
insane.
I say she's fired then.
I agree with that. Once again, the fact that she didn't tell Trump that there is an Iranian plot to have him killed is unacceptable too.
To me, this is
as far as letting a week go by to gather evidence before she goes in front of Congress, I don't have a big problem with that. I mean, it's going to take investigations do take time.
well, and naturally you have all these commentators speculating on
I
it.
just
and
wouldn't want her heading it.
most of them are speculating that she may keep her job. I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah, look, that's unacceptable.
Mark, haven't you watched the first 48? You got to figure shit out in the first 48
Amen.
hours.
Thank you, Jim.
Well, I think they know who did it.
Well, yeah, you got that part right.
This, to me, this isn't just a what the actual fuck. This is a what the actual fuck.
But you want people that were there for it to be fresh in their mind. For,
Exactly.
Yeah, but they have
You
a lot
want
of
their
video
information
evidence.
immediately.
Yeah.
But when you interview people, you want to interview them immediately. I'm glad someone else watches First 48. It's a great show.
I used to watch it every day.
I just feel like conspiracy-minded people are going to just
Yeah.
run with this. If there isn't
Already
more
are.
information made available, are they running with it? I would expect
Open
that.
Twitter.
That's why I would get this done. Is to prevent that, because it looks like law enforcement and Secret Service didn't give a fuck.
I think it's
they didn't get him off stage. They didn't answer the bystander screaming. They took pictures of him. Went, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, he
What
should.
do they do? What is their job?
I don't know. He should not have been on stage if they knew that this guy was roaming around with a rangefinder.
How can bystanders be more worried about than the people who do this for a living? How is that possible?
Yeah.
It just seems incredible to me.
And Mark, to your point, how did more people not get hit behind?
Well, I just want to know where where.
Or was the same person hit 2 or 3 times?
It's possible.
I don't know.
I think he just started firing off like crazy, and probably not aiming as well as the first shot. Which it seems like the first shot is the one that hit Trump.
If they told us sooner, we'd know.
I get the impression there's really more interest in finding out about the shooter than there is about how this happened.
No,
And
there's
I
mo-
feel like the shooter's nuts. We know he's a nut.
Well, I know now we know a lot about his parents too. Did you see all that stuff about his parents?
I haven't seen that much about his parents.
They reported him. First off, they reported him missing before he even got to Bethel or Butler. What was it?
Reported
Butler?
missing.
Really? But I thought he was just
Yeah.
supposed to go to the shooting range.
Yeah, well, and he didn't come back in time because I think it's a good 40 minutes away.
Wait, what? They reported him missing?
Parents called.
Why?
Because our 20-year-old son is missing and he has
20-year-old son? For how
Left
long?
At what time? Like
Drew,
noon?
my point is, I think
They
they
knew what he was doing.
I think they knew he was fucking nuts. And now a classmate gave an interview, I think, to Fox News that was like, that said something to the effect that all he did was rail against politicians, and he really hated Trump. So he hated all politicians, but he really hated Trump. And now you find out that his dad had big MAGA signs in his yard during the elections, and the campaign identified him as a guy that we really need to go after because he's very pro-gun and blah blah blah. What does that matter in it about the mom and the dad? Not much. But I think they knew that their son was a little fucking kooky.
God.
And had a herpes sore on his lip.
I know. Every time I see his stupid,
did he? I
Every
didn't
time I
notice
see his
that.
stupid wiener face, I want to shoot that zit off his lip.
I don't think it's a zit.
Whatever. You think it's a herpes? How would he have gotten herpes though? Come on. He told coworkers that, I'll be back Sunday.
Oh, it's crazy.
You know, the officer that was boosted up to confront him, and then the rifle was pointed at him, and he had no way to defend himself because he didn't have ability to grab his gun because he was climbing. He was being boosted up. That officer was not part of the group responsible for securing the building. How is this officer just like, he's the only one whose attention anyone can get? And it was secured from the inside due to the sloped roof, considered too dangerous. How do you secure a rooftop from inside a building? How the fuck is that supposed to work?
I don't know. They also think he did not take the ladder that was there, the 5-foot ladder that he climbed up on an air conditioner. What does that matter? I mean, he got
It
up on the
doesn't.
roof.
He got up there.
Although if you see a guy climbing on an air conditioner to get on a roof, it's a little more suspicious than using a ladder.
You know, I would.
Both pretty suspicious.
Yeah, but you get on a roof using a ladder. Like if you're supposed to be on a roof. If you're not supposed to be on a roof, you don't use a ladder.
I would think by now, because she was on GMA yesterday, I would think some fucking reporter would have gone there and gotten up on the roof and shown us how dangerous
I think it's
it
locked
is
up.
or it isn't.
I think it's locked down right now because of the investigation.
Well, they would get on one that's just like
a similar one. They reconstruct a roof.
There's roofs like that. That's a standard roof. There's like 10 of them in that area. If you look at the aerial pictures, they're all like that. I could swear the one the sniper is on is very similar. The one they shot him from?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that that whole property, though, is locked down for an investigation.
But you can't tell me there's no other roof like that?
Sure. Why don't you go climb on your roof?
I gotta tell you, I wouldn't
I
be
hate
that
climbing. I
fucking
hate walking
scared.
on roofs.
If I thought somebody was gonna get shot, I could climb up on my roof.
Somebody's going to do a stand-up from someone's roof to illustrate
When?
this point.
I mean, I'm just blown away that nobody's doing that. But
Anywhere.
I don't. I don't know what to make of this. I'm just starting to think that I must be seeing things. I must just be seeing ghosts or something, because it just seems like it's not that big a deal. This morning and yesterday too, they led with the convention for like 7 or 8 minutes, and then they get to this story and it's like 2 minutes and they move on, and
True, I
they
think
seem concerned about it. But
I think your feelings can be summed up with this.
Something's going on and somebody's not telling me something.
exactly. Only Joe Millionaire can sum up how I feel about this.
Now, there are some.
And he's right.
There are some extracurriculars. You see, Trump is selling new sneakers with his picture and that says "Fight, Fight, Fight" on them.
On the sneakers?
$300.
Limited edition
Limited
or
edition "Fight, Fight, Fight" shoes. I think they're making 5,000 pairs. He's signing like 10 of them. So
how did his last shoes do? By the
sold
way,
out.
Yeah,
They really-
fast.
Yeah.
Well,
But
he's got some. He's got some great merch people.
and then thankfully somebody got a hold of Tiger Woods, because I guess, is it the British Open that's going? That must be, yeah, right? Over in
The Open.
Yeah.
yeah, over in Scotland. And they asked him about Trump, because he's friends with Trump, which I don't think is a big
They
surprise.
play golf.
And he said that he's lost sleep over it, because on the flight over, I didn't get anything done. I was just watching the coverage, so I've been up all night, and then I got on the golf course, and I didn't play very well. What a one-track mind this guy
So
has.
concerned.
So
How did he not sleep? Didn't have any
he was-
Ambien?
well, that's what I was
Probably
saying.
because he's smoking meth to stay up to watch the coverage.
I have a feeling this is just a ploy for him. This is a scam for him to get Ambien. Or as I like to
Did
say,
fall in love with it once.
I think it's a scambian.
He's planting the seed for any doctor listening.
I can't sleep because my friend was shot.
Poor Tiger.